Hey, Toy fans, and welcome back to our episode recaps for Iron Fist on Netflix. With me again, I've got Greg
Hey.
and I've got Jeff.
How's it going?
All right, guys. So, a lot happened in this episode, and I've got to be honest, this is probably my favorite of the two we've seen so far. But we
Agreed.
have to start in like the last 15 minutes of this episode, and maybe we can kind of work our way backwards. The first thing I want to call out is Danny almost got out of the asylum the honest way, and he
Yeah.
totally blew it with the doctor.
Yeah, so I think he's definitely, he left when he was like 10, right? So I
Yeah.
think he's obviously a little jaded or something like I don't
Yeah,
think
he
he's
just
quite understanding how the real world works, which is
he did
understandable, but
right. Didn't know when enough was enough.
mhm.
Yeah. So, Greg, you had similar thoughts?
Oh yeah, that's pretty much sums it up.
Yeah. So, but I think that was a great sequence when he finally gets out at the very end, and he has his Iron Fist light up for the first time.
Yeah, right from
Yeah.
the trailer.
And one of the inmates at the asylum was there to beat him up.
Yeah, a
Yep.
few of them.
So that was pretty interesting. So those guys are there clearly to just watch him, or maybe they're there to bang up on everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't think
So-
he's actually crazy?
No, I don't think they are. I think they're in there to
Interesting.
keep all the other crazies in there because the doctor specifically said they're dealing with people that claim to
Yeah.
have power since the incident. And Greg, we know from watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that the incident is what they referred to as the first Avengers film.
Yep. Well, I think they mentioned that in Daredevil as well.
Oh, okay.
See,
okay.
I think they were just inmates. I think they just enjoy beating on people, and this is kind of their way to have fun while they're in
Yeah,
there,
I
I
kind
guess.
I interpreted it like with his security team, where they sent the security team after them. They're still security guys, you know.
All right.
They also are on the medium payroll.
Well, maybe I'm reading too much into it though. So, all right. Well, how about some interesting things you guys noticed throughout this episode? We did see the bird imagery again. We're still not really sure what that is.
Yeah.
He sees a bird when he meditates.
It's definitely a
Um,
recurring motif we don't really know anything about. I might as well mention it now, just because it's related to the bird. But the season 2 episode title is called Shadowhawk Takes Flight. And
Interesting. Okay.
I was looking up Shadowhawk, and because at first I thought, what is that Colleen Wing's character's name or something? But like her hero name if she
Right.
has
Right.
one. But
She doesn't
doesn't seem to be
actually
the
in
case.
the comics. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm wondering if Shadowhawk is that bird that we're seeing.
Yeah, that's got to be. And I almost wonder if that
Yeah.
bird is somehow Madame Gao keeping an eye on Iron Fist this whole
Well, I
time.
hadn't thought of that. Does she transform in the comics?
I don't
Well,
know
I
that.
guess-
I don't.
Yeah, she's not Madame Gao in the comics, is she? She's the Crane Mother or something, right?
Right, and they've called her
Yeah.
that in this show even. So I'm not
Uh-huh.
really sure how all that works out, but it is interesting. I'm starting to wonder with Iron Fist's father, who knows that he's alive. He seems to know that Kunlun exists. He's looking for a way to get back there potentially. So I don't know if he's either working for the Hand or maybe he was a previous Iron Fist and he washed out. I mean, do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Well, that's not
definitely
Iron
got that
Fist's
sense.
father.
Go ahead.
That's Ward's father.
Yeah,
Ward's
well,
father.
But
Yeah.
but
I
yeah,
definitely got the sense that like he had been there, and not necessarily that he was a previous Iron Fist, but like I could see there being like he suddenly knows whatever it is, Kunlun Fu or
see, I got more the impression that he was just trying to figure out what they were. I didn't really get the notion that he already knew about them. I definitely think he's under the Hand's thumb. I think he either owes them money, or since he faked his own death, I'm wondering if there's something along the lines of because there was a character in Daredevil that should have died several times and kept like regenerating. Right? They had like a
oh yeah, Nobu.
yeah. So I'm
Yeah, Nobu,
wondering
that's
I'm
right.
wondering if they used that same type of magic to keep him alive. So now he owes them essentially, and he's looking for a way to get out from underneath them. Because he seemed really
Interesting
interested. He seemed really interested when he heard that they was the enemy of the Hand. That seemed like where it really clicked for him more than just the name of the monastery.
Sure.
Mhm.
But
Well, no, that's a great theory. That's a really good
Yeah.
theory. So we'll see if that pays off next time.
We're also
I wanna-
seeing Joy come around. Like she believes he's Danny now.
Yes, and I love that scene.
Yep.
So yeah, they had the
With
whole
M&Ms.
commercial set up. Yeah, I thought that was really great.
Oh yeah, in the
So-
commercial. Yep.
Yep. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people starting to come around to the idea that this is really Danny, and I appreciate that. But man, it just it really hurt when the doctor was ready to let Danny go, and Danny just said that little bit too much. So now I wonder if the doctor is almost going to work against him at some point. I don't know. We'll see if he sees the security footage from this incident. He'd have
I
to know
do-
after that.
I do get the sense that the Doctor is not, a bad guy. Like
Yeah, I don't
this
think he
episode
is
made that much more clear.
either. Yeah, I
Right.
honestly think this might be the last we see of him. Because I think now that he's kind of out of the asylum, I think we're going to be kind of done with those characters.
I
Yeah,
think
and
so.
I was starting to like the crazy guy that let him out of the belt so he could call Colleen. I mean, yeah, it'd be sad if we don't see
Yeah.
him again.
I would be surprised if we don't see that guy again.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, why'd they set that up?
That could be, yeah. I mean, maybe he escaped too with that when Danny did.
Yeah. Well, I certainly hope that he doesn't get trapped in the asylum again, though.
Sure, yeah.
Right.
I'd kind of like to be done with that place.
So, some other things that notice in this episode, or let's talk about Colleen Wing actually. What did you guys think of like her little story in this?
Love it.
That was great.
I thought it was interesting how it
I liked
opened with her.
this episode.
What's that?
I just said I liked her in this episode. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that moment. It was a little weird, but when her students attacked her, and like that's just kind of how she trains her students.
Yeah, she's got her little hit squad going.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
They didn't really say like when she got offered the check, and Danny made some comment about how they have a ton of money. Like, but I don't know. I was just thinking it's a $50,000 check. That's like what you can hire on one new staff and maybe fix up the dojo. That's hardly
Right.
anything.
Yeah.
So, but honestly, like good on her for like being, I don't know, what the perceptive about what's going on. So it was great to see her actually visit Joy and like throw the contract back. I mean, I like where that's going at this point. So,
Yep, I agree.
did you guys notice any other references to the MCU at large?
Nope, not outside of just the incident.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they did, I
that's
guess,
all
mention the
noticed, too.
hand.
They did,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
they mentioned the
Talked
hand.
about.
That's true.
Now, I wonder if the hand is going to have a heavy presence in this show.
I
what does
think
it mean
they
to
are.
Defenders? So,
That's I mean, that's a good question, but I definitely from this, and I mean, obviously Daredevil season 2. I think the hand is really going to be what pushes the Defenders forward, and this show
Sure.
for that matter.
oh, and we want to talk about a couple of other things here. The window with the handprint on it that said, "Where did you go?" So, who do you think is leaving that message for Papa Meacham?
I think
is
it's
a
the
good
hand.
question.
That's what made me think he's under their thumb. I mean, with the handprint beneath
Really?
it, I think is part
Oh,
of
so
what
that's
led
like
me
the
to
hands
that.
marking?
That's the impression I got. Yeah, but
Okay.
I might be thinking of it on like too literal a sense, but just the idea that they would write that in English kind of stands out to me. Like
That's a good
most
point.
of them are not American.
no, but
I
I
don't
mean, it has to be something magical for them to get up that high. I mean, he's on
Yeah.
the penthouse of a skyscraper,
Yeah.
and
They
it's on
could've
the
just-
outside of the window.
Yeah, and they could have just done the English for the viewers, I guess.
Yeah,
So, who knows if the international version has different writing on the window.
sure.
So, I did think it was funny that the secretary for, if you guys know his name, tell me, but I'm just going to call him Papa Meacham.
Kyle.
Kyle,
Yeah,
is that his name?
Yeah,
Kyle's the secretary. But
yeah, and
yeah,
it's
Secretary.
Harold is the dad, the Meacham dad.
Harold. The Meacham dad, okay. So Kyle is looking up Iron Fist for Harold, and he comes up with a bunch of stuff, an alcohol and a few other things, but he never says Tekken. So
right.
Tekken
that has
is
to
not canon.
right,
Yeah,
Tekken is not in this
Confirmed.
universe. So that was great. I don't know if you guys, this is a bit of a side tangent, but they announced that there's going to be more guest characters in Tekken than Akuma. So there are people theorizing that Iron Fist will make it in since, he's called Iron Fist and it's the Iron Fist tournament. We'll see if that actually
That'd be
happens.
great.
Oh, that would be good.
So he would seem to fit in a game like that too. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Also, this Asylum is a terrible place, man. Before they even really diagnose their patients, they're forcing them to take drugs.
Yeah, right.
Like, isn't that awful?
Yeah, and I think it didn't help him that he's picking fights on his first day, but
Yeah,
but yeah,
I
it's
would-
definitely not a good place to be.
So, but yeah, but overall, I guess we're still not really feeling what the critics have been saying on the surface, right? Like this show doesn't seem like a complete train wreck to anybody yet, does it?
It's not a train wreck. I
No,
do think
yeah.
it's a little slow, and I think the idea that basically it took all the way to the end of episode 2 for the Iron Fist power to show up. Maybe they're upset about that. I guess we'll still have to see though. The critics, most of the ones who reviewed it early, I think they got 6 or 8 episodes. Like they didn't have the whole show, so
Right.
we'll have to see where it goes from here.
And I think a lot of what I saw, at least from the reviews I saw, was a lot of them admittedly were kind of getting tired of the genre, just in general, kind of superhero overload, for lack of a better term. So I'm wondering how much that had to do with it.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I do notice that this show is different from the other Netflix series. It's not so street level. I mean, it might be now that he's out of the asylum.
Sure.
But we're seeing a lot of like corporate business rooms, and we're seeing just a different side of the Marvel Universe that really we haven't even seen in the movies or in S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, and I think
So,
that's indicative of the character too. I mean, he's basically the spoiled rich kid of the universe, other than maybe Tony Stark. But
right.
I'm thinking we are just in general. I think we're going to see more of that side of it, especially because I assume at some point he's going to be back in charge of Rand Industries. At least from the trades I read, he wasn't homeless. He was millionaire playboy type deal. So I don't know when that's going to happen, but.
Sure. I would be surprised if he's running. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe at the end of the series he is running it, and that's where the Defenders get their money. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see where this goes. And somebody's got to figure out. I don't know. Danny Rand and Luke Cage have a strong friendship in the comics. I'm wondering if he'll somehow figure out, because he was in a psych ward. I don't know if it's tied together, but I wonder if he's going to figure out what's going on with Luke Cage. Or maybe he'll look into more experimentations now that he's left the psych ward and see if anyone else there is being suppressed.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, let's see.
So, all right. Well, that's our episode 2 recap, guys. Thanks for joining us. Again, if you want to catch up with me, you can catch me at D21Beast on Twitter. Greg, where can they catch you?
Yoshimitsu47.
All right, and Jeff, where can they catch you?
Forgotten Ex-Jedi.
All right, well, we're going to watch the 3rd episode, guys, and be on the lookout for another episode recap and review from us. Thanks for joining us.